Today I want to answer the question, is LEGO Technic overpriced? In the past you could get some amazing LEGO Technic sets for less than $100, which also included some amazing functionality like a gearbox or pneumatics. And yet right now, with the exception of the Ducati motorcycle, you cannot buy any set for less than $100 that also includes a gearbox. I have identified three main reasons as to why LEGO Technic is considered to be overpriced by many: the powered-up system, more licenses, and more ambitious sets. At the end of this video, I will also give my personal opinion on whether or not I think LEGO Technic is actually overpriced or simply expensive. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe so that way you can learn all about LEGO Technic. The first major reason for the general price increase in LEGO Technic sets is the powered-up system, also known as the Control Plus system. Each electronic component from this system is simply far more expensive than their respective power functions counterparts. For example, both the powered-up large motor and extra large motors cost a whopping $40, while the Power Functions XL motor costs only $10 and the large motor costs only $14. This price increase is likely due to the powered-up motors having a built-in rotation sensor, while the Power Functions motors didn't. However, this is just the tip of the iceberg, as the single most overpriced powered-up component is the basic battery box. In this powered-up battery box, there is no Bluetooth connectivity, no inertial measurement unit, no ability to read readings of its battery power or the motors connected, and it's virtually identical in functionality as the Power Functions battery box, with the only exception being that the powered-up can control only two ports but independently with its switches, but the Power Functions battery box can control a theoretically infinite number of outputs with only one switch, so long as it doesn't overload the battery box. The Power Functions battery box costs only $7, and yet the basic powered-up battery box costs a whopping 35 euros. This is absolutely insane, especially considering that the functionality of the powered-up battery box is basically identical to the Power Functions one. Since the basic powered-up battery box has not appeared in a single LEGO Technic set yet, with the exception of the Osprey, which was cancelled, we can safely eliminate the powered-up battery box as part of the reason why LEGO Technic sets have gotten a price increase. The main Control Plus hub costs $90, but this is due to it having an inertial measurement unit, telemetry, and Bluetooth connectivity. However, $90 for this hub is still considered overpriced by many. A much cheaper way to get the powered-up electronics is to simply buy the sets themselves. For example, the new off-road buggy contains two large motors, one main Control Plus hub, and it retails for $130. If you bought these electronic components separately, you would have to pay $170. But yet with this set, you can save $40 and get some additional pieces, including these brand new tires, as well as the shock absorbers. When it comes to the Control Plus sets themselves, they aren't actually overpriced when compared to similar Power Function sets. For example, let's take a look at the LEGO Technic Volvo L350F wheel loader. This set was fully remotely controlled with 4 Power Functions motors. It came with 1,636 pieces and it retailed for $250. For the exact same price, we have the Control Plus 6x6 Volvo articulated hauler, which comes with 557 more pieces than the L350F wheel loader, the far more advanced Control Plus system, a speed transmission gearbox, and 3 powered-up motors. Clearly, for the exact same price of $250, you're getting a much better deal with the new Control Plus Volvo articulated hauler. Both the $130 Top Gear rally car and the off-road buggy cost less than if you bought their electronic components separately. Believe it or not, LEGO Technic's most expensive set ever, the 42100 excavator, actually costs $10 less than if you bought its electronic components separately. And finally, the overpriced 4x4 Extreme Off-Roader likely had its $250 price tag come from the production issues of the Control Plus system at the time of its release. In my opinion, with the exception of the powered-up battery box, the new Control Plus system is certainly worth it, since you get built-in rotation sensors into the motors, live telemetry, Bluetooth connectivity with mobile device compatibility, and even Python programmability with PyBricks. I just want to say, if you're enjoying this video so far, then make sure to subscribe so that way you can learn all about LEGO Technic. I make videos like top 10 LEGO Technic sets in a certain category, comparisons between two similar systems, full RC mods, and so much more. So, make sure to subscribe. But, no pressure. No pressure. The next major point for why LEGO Technic sets are generally more expensive now is more licenses. More than half of new LEGO Technic sets released in winter 2021 are licensed. And in the summer wave of 2021, we're getting 3 more licensed vehicles and only 1 standard vehicle, meaning that the whole year of LEGO Technic 2021 is primarily licensed sets. 10 years ago, in 2011, we only had 1 licensed vehicle, and 5 years ago, we only had 3 licensed sets. When LEGO sells a licensed vehicle, they also have to pay a fee to the brand. This generally results in licensed sets being more expensive. For example, the $180 car transporter set has a price-to-parts ratio of about 7 cents per piece. But the LEGO Technic Ferrari 488 GTE costs $170, and it has a price-to-parts ratio of 10.1 cents per piece. The LEGO Technic Ferrari 488 GTE is the best example of how licensed LEGO Technic sets are more pricey than normal sets. In 2010, we got the LEGO Technic 8049 tractor with log loader for only $60, pneumatics, and power functions upgradability, and such cheap sets with awesome functionality are basically unheard of in modern-day LEGO Technic. The 9394 jet plane of 2012 is a $50 set that provides a much better value than the modern-day $50 LEGO Technic sets. Clearly, the cheaper LEGO Technic sets used to provide a much better value in the past than they do today. Currently, their 2 most expensive sets ever are the LEGO Technic Lamborghini Sian FKP37 4115, as well as the 4100 excavator, which costs $450. Around 5 or 10 years ago, there were never such expensive or ambitious LEGO Technic sets. Although the 4100 doesn't have a gearbox or really any other mechanisms that define a LEGO Technic set, I would still call it a very ambitious set, since unlike any other, it includes 7 motors, and it is the single most expensive LEGO Technic set ever. Later in October 2021, we're getting the CAT D11T bulldozer, which will also retail for $450. So it seems that every 2 years, 2019, 2021, 2023, and so on, we're getting a large Control Plus set which is fully remotely controlled and is gonna cost $450. Generally, right now, LEGO seems to be focusing on releasing more expensive and more ambitious sets while keeping the budget sets more simple than they used to be. So are LEGO Technic sets overpriced as a whole? Well, I would say no, they're not overpriced as a whole, and here's why. Although sets like the LEGO Technic Ferrari 488 GTE are generally considered to be overpriced, the Ferrari does not represent the entire LEGO Technic lineup as a whole. Most LEGO Technic sets, in my opinion, are actually decently priced considering that they include the much more advanced Control Plus system, they include more licenses, and the sets are generally more ambitious. Many of the smaller sets do feel overpriced because the smaller sets in the past used to provide a much better value. However, keep in mind that LEGO Technic is now appealing to the older audience more by providing a greater selection of more expensive LEGO Technic sets. These sets are undoubtedly very expensive, but I wouldn't say that they're overpriced, for the most part. When you consider the functionality, the piece count, the much more advanced Control Plus system, as well as more licenses, then the prices actually seem much more reasonable. If you would like to learn more about the summer LEGO Technic 2021 sets, then click on the video right over here. This is your Unbrick Me here, and I'll see you in the next one.